as the name suggests, we are at the California Grill at the Galadari Hotel. It is the Hungarian Food and Music Festival.
We're really excited to be a part of this, and I think it's different because we did cover the American Independence Day, a completely American cuisine, and this is actually the country-specific, the second country-specific cuisine that we're coming to. So, and it's not just food. There is music as well, with two well-known and very prominent musicians all the way from Hungary who've been flown down especially for the event. So there's a lot to see, a lot to eat, and a lot of interesting people to talk to.
Well, she pretty much summed everything up. So let's go check out the exquisite culinary of Hungary. Hey, this is Out and About on MTV Sports. I'm Chase D.
And Kavinda, and we're here at the Hungarian Food and Music Dinner/Festival.
Yeah, and it's been going on for the past couple of days.
Yes, this is in fact the third day, so we're at the grand finale of the festival, and we have two musicians from Hungary itself to talk to. We're really excited to talk to them. We've heard from many people who came here in the previous 2 days that the music was fabulous and the food was exceptional. So
yes,
really excited.
Yeah, even I'm actually looking forward to it. But to tell us a little bit more about it, we have Mr. Rohan Nanyakar, who is the councillor for Hungary. Thank you for being part of the show, sir. Could you tell us the whole idea of bringing the culinary delights of Hungary to Sri Lanka?
You see, I've been the consul for Hungary for 21 years now. And throughout this period, I found that Hungary has very close relationships with Sri Lanka. And even during the tsunami, Hungary was the first to come here to give assist to Sri Lankans. And there onwards, Hungary is doing wonderful things to help Sri Lanka. But they feel that they are also ancestors came from the Himalayas, and they all have black hair, and that's the only country in Europe that prepare food with chili.
Oh, so they have spicy food.
They spicy food. So
actually, Chase and I came here thinking, it'll be very white sort of food, not that spicy and not that Sri Lankan. So we were thinking of actually tasting a different kind of entire cuisine.
And already I think my mouth's watering because it's spicy. I love my spicy food. And to put all of this together, how long did the whole operation itself take?
It took me about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I requested the Hungarian government because it's on the 23rd was also the Revolution Day in Hungary. So I combined it with, and the Hungarian government very kindly agreed to send two top-class musicians of Hungary to perform for the Sri Lankan audience. Plus, we also have a chef from Hungary who will make the Hungarian culinary delights.
Which is spicy. Again, the key word here is the spicy food. How has that worked for your taste buds compared to other European food? I'm sure you have also been traveling around Europe through your many years that you have worked with Hungary. So, for you personally, how has the whole experience with that and the difference, so to speak, with their culinaries and everyone else who's pretty much around them?
Now you're asking my secret questions. I also have office in Moscow, and maximum I can stay is 10 days, and I have to go to Hungary, which is very close by, spend at least a weekend and get back to the other countries, because otherwise my taste buds does not work after with all very white non-spicy dishes.
And
anything, any particular dishes that we really need to try, you would know about the food. So tell us what dishes we have to try out today.
Okay, you have the paprika chicken, and a host of other things. Almost all are something to do with paprika. Okay. So I don't want to take away the surprises from you. Okay. So
let the cuisine speak for itself.
That's right. So that is, and also I must give a little how much Hungary is helping us. They also found that our water system was not very good. So they have just started, but 1 year ago they started purifying the Labugama reservoir system. So with Hungarian money, Hungarian workers, engineers. So once they finish that, within the next 1 year, I think the part of Kalama that gets water from Labugama reservoir, we will have water which is supposed to be more purer than bottled water. Because Hungary is famous for water management. So that's another thing that's coming the way for the benefit of the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, just stirring off there, we never ever drink from the tap unless we really have to at home.
And that's right. So, but you see, I'm not young as you, but when we were in college, when I used to play raga and all that, I mean, the tap is where we put our hands and drank water, but it's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
But now with the situation changing here, and I think not only Hungary but other countries will also help Sri Lanka to develop our country and for the facility of the Sri Lankans.
Well, it certainly is a lot of fantastic news which we're hearing from here. And we are now going to be making our way slowly but surely to try out all these extremely spicy food. Spicy food, keyword. Again, Hungarian food is spicy versus other food which you get within the region. Thank you so much, and we are delighted to be able to try out this, and also thank you for having us that's out and about here at the Galataria to check out the Hungarian food and music dinner.
Thank you very much for coming, and hope you'll enjoy the evening.
With the culinary delights of Hungary, we also have two musicians who have come down to Sri Lanka, and we've heard they're two of the best in the country. We have Peter and Beata. I think I got it right. Oh yes, fantastic. So you are a clarinist plus the saxophone.
Yes, I play both instruments. But not at the same time.
I was wondering, if he was going to be trying to do both at the same time. But how long has it been for you to master two instruments like that?
I've started my music experiences at age of 10, so it's almost 20 years.
Okay.
So I hope I learned enough, and now I would like to make a good performance.
Okay, and you've been playing the piano also, I'm sure, for a very long time as well. We heard that you guys are without a doubt some of the professional musicians. You needed your piano tuned just to the right point, I heard.
Yes, I have been playing the piano 22 years.
Okay.
So I started at 6 age in the kindergarten.
Oh, wow. And how has the experience in Sri Lanka been for you? What's it like?
This is the first time that we are here in Sri Lanka, and we are really enjoy it.
Really, it's a beautiful country. So it's a pleasure to us to be here, to play and play.
Thank you. And one more thing, I know you will be going for your performance very soon. We're very excited to see it. Now, Hungarian food is very spicy. Have you tried the Sri Lankan food? How spicy is that? Is that too spicy, or is it just right?
Yes, we tried it, of course, and this is spicy enough.
It's very spicy.
But we really like this.
Yeah. Great.
It's fantastic to have a European country which embraces spiciness. Thank you so much. We are looking forward again to your performances. We heard that there's going to be some freestyle stuff also coming your way, so make sure that you are tuned here right on out and about. Gastronomical journey was what they said that the event was about, and that was certainly it. It was very intriguing, the dishes which we had.
I think the ones we ordered, because we made sure that we ordered like different kinds of dishes because we want to just try everything out. But unfortunately, it could be at least a maximum of 6 dishes that we can possibly try out. So I love the paprika chicken, but it wasn't as spicy as we expected it to be, but it was really nice. I like the dessert as well, the pancake with the chocolate cream. What else? What did you have?
Well, dessert-wise, actually, we both had the same thing. Apart from that, I had the fried chicken with potato. Yes, with potato, and actually that was very, very nice. The chicken was actually extremely tender. I for one really enjoyed it. It's interesting also to find out that that even the culinary cultures as well is quite similar.
And I was actually speaking to the host of the evening, and she was telling me that some of our vocabulary is actually very similar to that of Sri Lanka. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it from us here at the Hungarian Music and Food Dinner. So make sure that you also check us out on our Facebook page. That's www.facebook.com/OutandAbout MTV Sports. Homegrown is a relatively new name maybe to you, but it's been there for a couple of years, and it has been making many striving rather further in its milestones, with it having its first ever English Musicians Awards, and then we have today, which is the Homegrown Sessions.
And I think it's a relatively new industry. It's not our mother tongue, so it's really difficult to actually bringing musicians and get people to listen to it. And I think YesFM has done an amazing job in creating the platform to actually get these musicians into sort of a common platform. And I think we're really excited because there are a couple of known names who will be playing, plus a lot of newbies as well. So it will be actually a mix, but an interesting mix.
Yes, it's the Homegrown Top 20, the countdown. Some of the famous artists within the chart are going to be performing, and also other upcoming musicians this evening. So it's certainly going to be a very exciting one, and we here at Out and About certainly have it for you. So Kavindya and I are going to go and check this out. have Buddhima with us, who's also known as Type B. He's a DJ as well, but who has come to enjoy the music here at Homegrown Session. How was the event for you today?
It was good. I've always enjoyed listening to music that comes out of the local scene, so it's nice to see that someone is actually stepping up and organizing things like this, because there is a lot of talent in Colombo, in Sri Lanka, better than, always bringing down local acts. So see that what's actually homegrown, and everyone got a taste of that today.
Yeah, and anyone in particular which you enjoyed today?
I'm a fan of Wagon Park and even Elephant Foot. I actually forgot they were playing, so it was a pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, they're playing today. So that was nice to see.
Yeah,
and some of the earlier bands, I actually didn't catch their names. So I had to ask Yasmin later, like, who was the band with the two people here, and they sang that song. So, yeah, except for that. But there were at least 3 bands which I really liked, where they actually mixed up jazz music with their alternative music, and there were some original numbers which was quite nice to see as well.
I think you're talking about Noctua. They're the ones who do the fusion of jazz and a bit of the alternative mix. I've seen them perform once and they were actually quite impressive. And what more do you expect when it comes to the promoting of artists in Sri Lanka? What do you see needs to be there?
There has to be a change of mindset as well. I feel, as myself, I'm also a performer, a producer, and when we play to different crowds, different events, also on the side of events and how they're handled, how we should be treated as professional artists ourselves, that you don't work for free, or that everybody plans out what's going to happen for the night, where there's some programming going on, what the music is like. And also when you think of making music, be inspired by what we have in Sri Lanka. We have a lot of music and talent that comes from here, so don't be afraid to use it. You don't have to always go to the West. Not that the West is a bad thing, I'm not dissing anybody, but I'm just saying, see what you can find and bring out in Sri Lanka also. Yeah.
And you're also a DJ, so today of course there was no DJ performances, but do you hope to maybe, if at all, be involved in such events, maybe with Homegrown, for instance?
Yeah, definitely, I would be. And yeah, actually Larry T here and myself, we are working on an event coming up next month, which is actually live music and DJ music put together. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, and glad that you enjoyed the evening.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we have some of the people who came to enjoy the Homegrown sessions this evening. We have Lassit, Ryan, and Tia. So, guys, what did you think of today's event?
It was completely mind-blowing just to see Sri Lanka has this kind of talent, and that it doesn't get the mainstream attention like the others get. Yeah. And they should get on big stage more than that, I think.
All right, so how about you?
It was awesome. It was really good, especially Larry T. Hill's thing. That was epic. You don't see that a lot in Sri Lanka, so yeah.
And Lassit himself is also a musician, so I'm sure you would have some great reviews for us.
It was cool, man. I think the whole concept of having a gig dedicated to artists who are on a chart locally is really nice to see.
And how do you see the local music? How can it be improved further, the exposure? What do you think as a musician?
Just off the top of my head, I think instead of having a chart that plays this kind of music once a week, it would be cool if they can rotate those artists throughout the week with the stuff from artists abroad as well. Yeah.
Few suggestions there. And as a listener, I believe, what do you guys think?
Well, we don't listen to radio much, but we do go on YouTube and check all of them out. But it's nice. I go on actually Homegrown charts and check out the artists and say, oh, let's see what's there. And I've actually discovered a lot of artists, and he's actually a musician. He interviews musicians. So we actually go on the charts trying to find people and listen to their things, and then find these people and be like, oh, this is really good. Some people have just one song and they're really good, and they don't have a platform here. They didn't have anything like this before. So it's really great that there's a platform for people instead of just playing at bars or just going for a gig here and there.
One question which I'd ask, of course, you have platforms like iTunes, so on and so forth, where you can purchase music. Little by little, I've started noticing that there are some musicians, Sri Lankan musicians, who are getting their music on iTunes, which itself is a very big thing. Would you purchase it?
That's a very good question. If it's something really I absolutely love, yes, I would. If it's something I love.
Well, I don't download much. I kind of order them from eBay or something just to support the musicians. I think it's a really cool thing that you're putting your music out there, like iTunes, wherever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I would purchase it.
I think coming from a country like Sri Lanka, where we don't actually purchase music as much, that we actually get it off CDs or we can get it online and SoundHound and all of that. So I think iTunes is a much more Western country concept than Sri Lankans.
How about you? I'm sure you're not going to be buying your own music, but then that's just going to be constant reimbursement.
I think that's an interesting thing because, like, see, the thing is, like, think the reason that the music industry here is still slow, at least the English music industry, is because there is no industry as such. There is no transaction where people are willing to pay for the music that they like and artists get a return out of that. So I think if we can do our little part by actually buying that music and starting that ball rolling, I think it would be pretty cool.
Fantastic. Very, very enthusiastic listeners, audience / musicians, and everyone who is playing their role, or at least trying to play their role in helping the local music scene. Thank you guys so much, and look forward to seeing you guys at yet another Homegrown session.
Into another band that actually played during one of the sessions. I'm really good at massacring names, so I'm not going to repeat that. So guys, can someone please, I think you are the expert at the correct, precise pronunciation of the name of this particular band, so go ahead.
Yeah, we are Nakchua, and I'm Lalinda. I play guitar, and this is Kenneth, he plays bass.
So Chivai on lead.
I am Sanjay on piano.
Ishanta drums and vocals.
So this is pretty interesting because I knew these guys from school. They were like these little brats, like singing like random.
I think you're younger than me.
So I'm younger than them. Anyway, so how was the session like? Did you guys enjoy it? What were the pieces you played?
It was Evening Rain, right?
Evening Rain, which was
and
and we also
played
on a jazzy version of like Sway, like Peter Chincotti's version. So it was a lot of fun.
That's about the crowd. I always love the crowd that comes to sessions like this. They're so in the mood. The vibe is really nice and they're so into what you're saying. How was the crowd like today especially?
Brilliant. I really enjoyed that. So, so thanks. We should thank them for coming out and like supporting us and other bands as well. So, yeah, that was fun.
All right, and about the fact that the English music industry, you know, we come from a country where our mother tongue is not English. How do you see the progress? Like, we see a lot of people doing covers and stuff like that, but the original works are sort of stagnant. How is that like? What are the original pieces that you have and any covers you've done?
It's basically we have a few originals, and we're actually working on the album at the moment as well. Obviously, you know, the problem that every band has is financial. You know, so I mean that's a very, you know, known problem. Everyone has it, and I think as far as like now what we play is we play jazz, you know, fusion. You know, so like obviously we have accepted the fact that our targeted crowd is a lot smaller than, you know, anybody else who might be playing commercial music, but doesn't stop us from doing what we do, because there are going to be always you know, opportunities thanks to like gigs like this that come along, thanks to, you know, Yes FM and whatnot. So, you know, we get to work with it and then, you know, try to get our name out. And the more people, there are people who come to gigs like this who keep an eye out for talent. So if we impress them, you know, there are always chances for us to actually, you know, head a little higher. But the biggest challenge is to always just stay true to your genre and to keep working at it, because you're not going to get a break overnight. That a lot of people stop what they do because they expect the break to actually come very, very fast, when it doesn't. You have to work, you know, your way towards it. It takes a while.
You should write a book for like upcoming bands, like advice for newbies or something like that, because that was a
Planning.
He's planning to write books.
He's a literature guy.
Oh, you're a literature guy, no wonder. Anyways, on a final note, how do you guys meet? Are you from the same school, or how did that?
Yeah, all like simmers.
We're all four of us are, obviously you know that. And Lalinda used to, actually here's the thing, we actually started off playing, you know, like, you know, soft rock, you know, things like, you know, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. We used to cover the Eagles, because we come from like many different backgrounds and of music. And we got together, we've seen each other grow into who we are today, and you know, we've always worked with each other. I think some of us actually know each other for like close to 10 years now. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. And Lalinda, I used to play a lot of metal as well. I still play a lot of metal. And Lalinda used to play for this band called Raven Song. And, you know, he's a very, very good guitarist. And we just happened to hang a couple of times. And then one day, you know, I was abroad, I was studying, then I came down. And then, you know, we just hung out. And, you know, we were like, you know what, shall we do some jazz? And then we hit upon like a very similar chord. And he wanted to do jazz, I wanted to do jazz. And the rest of these guys also loved it. So here we are.
Alright, so anyways, congratulations on all what you achieved so far, and Out and About will definitely keep a lookout for you guys in the future events we cover, and make sure if you see us to come and say hi again.
Yeah, of course.
Alright, thank you guys, nice seeing you. Bye.
So when it comes to America, if someone says Shaq, it's Shaquille O'Neal, who will be extremely tall, who will probably not even fit into this frame, which would come to mind. In Sri Lanka, if it's Shaq, it's without a doubt Shaq on Yes FM Mornings. Hi, Shaq.
Hi, guys. Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate it.
No pun intended, I swear.
I'm sure. But I've heard worse, so it's okay.
So, Shaq, Yes FM, Yes Homegrown, this has taken a lot of leaps over the past couple of years. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and also the sessions in itself?
Homegrown started a few years ago, as a matter of fact, because we realized that there was a lot of potential in Sri Lanka. The talent that we have in Sri Lanka is huge, but we also realized the fact that there was no platform to expose these artists. And if you take back a few years of all the professionals in the industry right now, they all started somewhere. And it was a bit of a tough ride for them because yes, they were talented, but no one really gave them gigs. I know for a fact that some of the big artists today actually have to, you know, take a bus ride from one session to another. Most of the artists, or most of the guys in Sri Lanka at the moment, have had it easy, so to say. But then you also had lots of these reality shows, for example, like Yes Superstar, and lots of the superstar shows, which also gave a platform for the musicians to come out, and the singers to come out, rather. But then there was nothing really for musicians to come out. And we wanted to take away this, you know, I'm not putting it down, but then take away this whole idea of playing in lobbies and playing in restaurants and all that stuff. And, you know, for a musician, what we think, of course, coming from the radio industry, for a musician, it's his or her song. Once you actually come up with his or her song, which is the is the epitome at the end of the day. That's like it. And we have lots of musicians in this country, and we thought, okay, it's about time that we start something like this. Last year we had the Homegrown Awards, which was huge, which really was like a local Grammy.
And that itself was a massive milestone, because it was the first time for English-speaking musicians that such an event ever took place.
That's right, and we had almost everybody there. Everybody who was somebody in the music industry was there. They were giving awards and all that stuff, so it was good. There was a lot of talk, obviously, for us to repeat the awards this year. So we collectively decided that we're not going to do it this year, and we want to do it every other year, because what happens is the pool of music becomes bigger for us to actually choose from, and for us to decide on the best artist, the best female singer, the band, etc. So we have lots to actually choose from. We're a small country. English music, of course, is even smaller. So when we actually put the pool together, it becomes a bit difficult to choose, because then you have only a handful to choose from. So when you have it in every 2 years, there's a lot more, and makes it much more difficult to choose from.
That's true. And also, Shaq, on a different note, this has happened over a couple of years. A lot of bands and musicians do a lot of great covers, and their platforms are being opened, especially by your station as well. What are your thoughts about the original works that come out, original productions, their own work? How has the progress been like as of now?
It's been really good. It's been really, really good. From the time we actually opened the floodgates for the original music to come in, I kid you not, we get almost at least about 6 to 7 original songs coming in every week. Every week, right? And clearly we also need to sort of identify the genres that we can play on ESFM, which is very important. Yes, there are lots of music out there. Unfortunately, we can't play, because again, we need to understand the target audience of the radio station at the same time. So we need to obviously play with the right type of music. But music is just being opened. I mean, it's just awesome. It's been really good, and it's just a brand that's actually grown from the last so many years, and it's just going to continue to grow as long as we have things like homegrown sessions that happen every year. We've got a homegrown countdown that happens every week. We've got lots of Sri Lankans living in Australia, Canada, US, and England. They send in music because they realize that there's something like this to be actually exposed. So it's doing good. We're happy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shaq, for your time. And make sure that you listen to him on Yes Mornings. That's on Yes 101.
Nah, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't really have to. It's all right.
100.8. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
So we have Yasmin with us, someone who is without a doubt very much into the promotion of local music. I've known her for a couple of years personally, and without a doubt I know that she's one of the people who would do their best when it comes to promoting local music, and one of the main people when it comes to behind Homegrown, of getting all the coordination and everything together. Hi.
Merci, firstly. You're far too kind, man.
Of course I am.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. Sorry, this is one of those moments where I don't know what to say because naturally I'm not really used to compliments, so hodo.
Okay, hodo moment. All right, so let's take it step by step then. Yasmin, Homegrown. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Homegrown and how, in the few years, how it has propelled itself to having the music awards, to having the Homegrown sessions, and also, of course, the weekly chart?
Well, where do I start with Homegrown? Firstly and foremostly, Yes 101 has always been supporting home music ever since its inception, which was in 1993, I believe. And then a few years ago, there was this expansion in productions and artists. I mean, thanks to technology, we gotta give a big up to people who were behind all that music softwares, etc. And thanks to that, during the early mid 2000s, Yes 101 as a station supported the home music scene quite a bit. About 3 to 4 years ago, Homegrown propelled itself into a proper show, which was like a once a week sort of affair. Not once a week, sorry, once a month. And then it turned into like a once a Sunday sort of affair. And then the year before that, on the 15th of November 2012, the countdown happened. And ever since then, man, what more can I tell you? Lunkins from Melbourne, Canada, Lunkins from everywhere have been sending their music, and I think it's just great to hear Lunkins from different diverse backgrounds just sending in their music, and man, the exchange has been nothing but awesome.
And also, when we were looking around, while I was focusing on the bands, I was actually looking at the crowd, the amount of support which you usually don't see in any other concert. So tell us a bit about that community that comes together with this whole the Homegrown sessions and the chart show as well. How is that community like? Not just the artists, but the audience.
Wow, frankly, I don't know where these people come from, but all I know is thanks to the interwebs, and since everyone's connected and whatnot, the exchange of information is as such where everyone just gets a good dose of music pretty much on a daily basis. Like, for example, my website, yasminyusuf.lk, where people go check out new music and stuff, and then they're pretty pleased with what they hear. And also, these are changing times. I mean, let's be honest, music out there in the international scene is not really all that appealing anymore. Rather, and people look for a bit more when it comes to music. It's not just shallow lyrics and a big fat beat. It's a bit more than that. And I think that's where our Lankan artists have really nailed it. So what more can I say? People who appreciate good music is what it is, and people who appreciate that sort of music also are very connected. And with regards to support on the countdown, hey, people who love the music request it, and it ends up being there. And I forgot to answer one question though, how the countdown turned itself into an award show. It's simple, man. Again, it's support. It all boils down to support. The more you, as a Lankan community, support your Lankan artists, hey, that's all it takes, man. And yeah, next year, 2015, can't wait for that.
Yes, we heard that the next award's probably going to be next year. All right, hopefully we'll certainly be there to cover all of that. But one more thing, I know that you would have certainly noticed that a lot of producers, people who don't perform, people who don't necessarily DJ either, but who are just producers making their material. Apart from, of course, radio airplay, how do you maybe see, what sort of tips could you give them, for instance, in promoting their music?
It's simple. It's really simple. Do your best and put your music out there. Don't copy, be original. I know it's so easy to download a tutorial and make it your own, but hey, let's be honest, it's not going to take you nowhere. Just be an original producer, because guys from Iraj to Irangaja once to, man, even Drop Wiz, they work from scratch. It's not the easiest, but if you really want exposure, if you really want to be there, that's it, just be original and work hard.
And Dropwiz is one of those very young and up-and-coming Sri Lankans who unfortunately is not in the country as much as we'd want him to be, but certainly excelling and being also very much involved in the international sphere itself.
Yeah, I mean, Dropus is not really upcoming. He's been there also. Like, he's currently taken up DJing, which is absolutely cool. But the guy right now is signed on to Mix Smash Records, which is owned by, what's his face? Laid Back Luke. And yeah, and the guy is pretty much poised for a higher calling next year. So what more can I say?
Well, actually, I think you've said enough, because that pretty much summed up everything what Homegrown is all about. And we are looking forward to more, 101 events, which we'll be promoting and certainly will be continuing to promote the local music. Thank you, Yasmin, so much.
Jai Weva. And support Homegrown and support your Bilatronic too.
She dropped that in there, didn't she?
Yeah, I did.
So that's just wrapping up from the Homegrown sessions, which is brought to you courtesy Yes 101. What did you think of the performances?
I think just as the musicians and the bands, the audience was equally amazing. And I was actually, I was telling Yasmin also about it, because the audience, they're so supportive. It's like this little interconnected, lovely community. It was great to be a part of it, and I think the talent is just off the top. I think that was great.
Sri Lanka is rolling out a lot of great musicians. That's something which you need to keep in mind. And something else which is very important is, if you like the music, if you feel that maybe even if it's a friend of yours, make sure that you're there, support them, because that is extremely important. And there's no better feeling for a musician than getting on stage and having their friends, family and newfound fans being there, cheering their name, even not necessarily cheering their name, just clapping and just enjoying and absorbing the music which he or she puts out.
And especially you can see when the audience is cheering up and the audience is getting excited, you can see that whole energy building up in the musician as well, because they know they're being loved, they're being appreciated, and everyone needs that little extra boost. And I think as audience, I can't sing, so I count as audience. I think it's our responsibility to actually give that extra bit of motivation that's really needed. So yeah,
and if you are a budding musician, rather budding musician to be more precise. Yes, my bad. It happens. Anyway, moving on from that, we have Yes Superstar, which is taking place. Applications can be found online. For details, make sure you listen to Yes 101 or else on 100.8, which is the secondary frequency, and tune in to MTV Sports. Even find us on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/out and about on MTV Sports, as you'll be able to find links to download or apply online for the third season of Yes Superstar.
And Team Out and About guarantees that we will be there to cheer for you. So please make sure you do apply. Plus, follow us on Instagram.
Yes, you can do that. Again, it's available on our Facebook page. So that is a wrap from us. It's been quite the evening. So until next time, you take care. Walk out now. Walk out. All right, so we at the Culinary Hotel, and unfortunately, we had a little malfunction. I'll take that again. All right, so we are at the Culinary Hotel, and the Hungarian Food and Music Festival. Yeah. Homegrown.
Electronic.